So it's time with an agribusiness giant right here on Agroriches TV. And today we're going to be speaking about or talking about Ghana irrigation. So today I'm here at the Ghana Irrigation Development Authority to find out what are we doing in terms of our irrigation schemes and how are we having an impact on agricultural production. Today my guest is the head of the Scheme Oversight Department at GIDA, and she's going to be speaking on the irrigation schemes that we have in Ghana, like the Pond Irrigation Scheme, the Water Irrigation Scheme, and several others. She is called Madam Juliet Adjei-Kyere. We'll be going for a short break. When we come back, I'll introduce my guest properly and we'll move into the show. Stay tuned.
Want to own an agro-processing factory, but held by financial and technical challenges? TIAST got you covered. We assured of 80% financial support. You only need an investment of 20%. Aside that, you get technical support, ranging from machine design, manufacturing to installation, with a guaranteed offtake support. Own a factory today. TIAST Group, more value for agriculture.
Welcome back from the break, and today is all about irrigation, and I have here with me Madam Juliet Adjei-Kyere, who is the head of Oversight, overseeing the irrigation schemes in Ghana at GIDA. Madam, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for having you on Agroriches TV.
Thank you.
How has it been so far? First you said you were the principal agronomist, and then now you moved to the head of the Oversight department. How has it been so far?
Yes, it's been good.
Okay.
I've been with the authority for the past 20 years. So I started as an assistant agronomist and moved through the ranks.
Okay.
So now I'm actually the deputy chief manager,
Okay.
scheme oversight. But I am heading the scheme oversight department at the head office.
Okay. All right.
It's
So
been fine.
okay, it has been a good journey.
Yes.
All right. So let's move into irrigation in Ghana. So what can you say about irrigation schemes in Ghana in relation to agricultural production, since that is where you are into?
Yes, so irrigation schemes in Ghana, we contribute a lot to food production.
Okay.
We have a lot of irrigation schemes scattered throughout the country, ranging from as big as 3,000 hectares in pond irrigation scheme to the least of about 6 hectares. So you have a lot of them scattered throughout the country, some in the southern sector, some in the middle zone, and then some in the northern. In fact, mostly in the northern.
The northern.
Yes.
What the northern region? Because I don't know, but the climatic.
The northern part.
Is it because of the
country.
climatic conditions?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So I'll mention some of them that are very functional.
Okay.
Yeah, because some are having some little challenges. So the functionality, it's a bit problematic.
Minimal. Okay.
So those that are very, I'll call them very active irrigation schemes in Ghana. So we have the pond irrigation scheme, which is our biggest irrigation scheme in Ghana as at now, operational.
Okay.
Of about 3,000 hectares being cropped to rice and banana. So I'll be speaking about the rice aspect. For the banana aspect, it's being done by a private company called GEL.
Okay.
That's Golden Exotics Limited. And the rice part is done by small-scale farmers on the pond irrigation scheme.
Okay.
And they number about 2,000.
2,000 different small-scale farmers.
Small-scale irrigation farmers.
Okay.
On the pond irrigation scheme. Then we have some other irrigation schemes which are also very functional, like the Dowenya irrigation scheme. I don't know whether you can.
Yeah, Dowenya.
Yes. We have the Water irrigation scheme in Volta region.
Okay.
Dowenya is in Greater Accra. Pond irrigation is also in Greater Accra. That is Shai Usuluku district. Then we have Aveime irrigation scheme.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it rings a bell.
Yeah, the rice production.
The rice production. But that side, the Juliet Cotton one, it's a private one. But we have an irrigation scheme called Aveime irrigation. It's also water irrigation.
Is that also, related to only rice production?
Yes, it's also purely rice production.
Okay.
Rice production. So then we have the others who are also into vegetable cultivation, like the Ghana Irrigation Scheme. It's in Ghana South District of the Greater Accra region. They are solely into vegetable production, i.e. tomato. Tomato is the lead vegetable. Then they have the others. They also cultivate the Asian vegetables like tuya, tinder, and the others like okra, and the other locals. Yes. So they are into vegetable cultivation.
Okay.
We also have the Ashaman irrigation scheme. Yes, there's an irrigation scheme in Ashaman.
Wow. So Ashaman is, that's, I mean, when it comes to agriculture, they're also into agriculture.
Yes. Yes. So they also do rice and vegetables. Then we have the Ochereko irrigation scheme in Central Region. They are solely into rice production. And then in the dry season, they also go into okra production.
I think you are mentioning, I mean, rice, paddy production, or that.
Yes.
I mean, so that should really make us food sufficient, if you have to say that, in terms of meeting the demand, local demand for rice production.
Yeah, it's supposed to be so, but the production is still not enough. Because, you know, we consume a lot of rice. So it's still not enough. We want to do more rice cultivation under irrigation. So we have the others. The list is long. As I said earlier, we have a lot of schemes, over 180 schemes scattered throughout the country.
Wow.
Yes. From the biggest, like the Ghana Irrigation 3,000, to the smallest.
The smallest,
of 6 hectares. Yeah, but they are scattered throughout the country. Yeah.
So when we look at the different irrigation systems that we have in Ghana, we have the center pivot irrigation, we have the sprinkler irrigation, all that. Which one would you say is very effective?
Yes, so you use the term system. So in actual fact, we have 2 systems, which we call the gravity system and the pump system.
The pump system,
But we have different methods of irrigation. That is where the sprinkler, the drip, the center pivot comes in. So when you talk about the gravity schemes, that is the system where the water flows by gravity. You don't need to lift the water with energy. And then we have the pump scheme where you have to pump the water before it can go onto the field. So for corn irrigation scheme, it is a gravity system, and the method of irrigation is the flooding, furrow irrigation. They just open the channel and the water goes into the farm, the rice farm. When it's enough, then the gate is closed. Then we regulate the water level in the rice farm. So that is a system for corn irrigation. Then when you go to the other system, like the pumping system I talk about, Ghana Irrigation is a vegetable scheme. They are using the pump system. In fact, for Ghana scheme, we call it pump gravity pump.
Pump gravity pump.
Yes, I will explain. So they have 2 pump houses. The first one lifts the water to a night storage, a basin. The water is pumped there, and then overnight it is pumped a second time onto the field, into the hydrants, and then the sprinklers will distribute the water to the crops. So that is the pump system. They use energy, and they use the national grid power, electricity. So the pump houses are attached to electricity, and then when they spark the pump, the water is pumped, and then they utilize it. So we call it pump gravity pump. So when they pump into the night storage, then they pump a second time onto the field. So double. Then there are some other schemes. They only pump into the canal, and then it flows by gravity. Yes, there are other systems like that. So that is Ghana. So you ask the question, which one is
the most effective?
It depends on the type of crop. For example, it is not recommendable to use sprinkler system for rice cultivation. I'm not saying you can't use it, you can.
But it's not recommendable.
But it's not recommendable because you see how rice fields, we flood the system. So if you have to use sprinkler, it will have to sprinkle till you get enough water to flood the system. So it is better to use the gravity system where the channels are created and then the water flows into the farm through the the gates that have been created.
Okay.
Yes.
So before we move on, I believe this is creating a lot of employment opportunities for the locals.
Exactly. So I was going to come into that aspect. Yes. So when you go to corn irrigation, of about 2,000 farmers, the average land holding is 1 hectare. So one farmer is having 1 hectare of land to crop rice. And they do it twice in a year. They call it first season, that's the major season, and the minor season. Rice takes about 4 months.
Yeah.
About 4 months to mature. Some are early, 3.5, you are harvesting. But let's make it 4 months. So they do it the first season, major, and harvest, and come in again for the second season. So for every season, you have a farm of 1 hectare, and you employ a lot of farm hands, or labor work is needed in rice production. Right from land preparation, you have to prepare the land. So you need a tractor operator to prepare the land.
Okay.
Yes, so the tractor operator comes in, and you have hired the person. You create a job for him. He prepares the land for you. When he finishes, you have to come in with transplanters. You would have made your nurseries. So you come in with transplanters to transplant your rice on the farm. Even if you are not using transplanting method and you are using broadcasting, which some farmers do, you need labor to broadcast the rice on the field.
Okay.
So let's say you hire some 2 laborers to broadcast. Or if you're transplanting, you may hire about 3 or 4 transplanters to transplant the seedlings on the farm. Now, when it's established and the rice is growing, you need to cater for the crop.
Okay.
You need to feed it. So nutrient management. You need to apply fertilizer. So when you are applying the fertilizer, you need somebody to apply the fertilizer for. Whether it is you or you are hiring, is still a job that somebody has to do. So the person comes to apply the fertilizer for you. Now, when the crop is establishing or is growing, you see that at a point, you may need to spray some weedicides because maybe weeds will start coming in. So they normally use the knapsack to spray weedicides as well as insecticide. If you experience some insects coming to attack, you need somebody to do the spraying for you.
Okay.
So you've created a job for another person.
So that is also in relation to your mission. Is it a mission or vision which talks about using available water resources to ensure food security and also create sustainable livelihoods?
Yes.
So that's
sustainable livelihood.
That's a vision.
Comes in.
Okay.
Yes, it comes in. Then you see the processes are many on rice fields.
Yeah.
When the rice is matured, you need people, we are calling them scarers, to scare birds.
Oh, okay.
Because rice, when it matures, you see the birds coming in, especially in the minor season. They worry the farmers a lot. So you need somebody to be there to be driving them away.
Oh, okay.
Either you use the net, but even if you use the net, still, you still need somebody
technology has given us the laser scarecrow.
Yeah, the scarecrows are there. But you know the interesting thing? The farmers, they are living things, and they study the system.
Okay.
When they get to know that this is a scarecrow, it's like some of them, they are having some sound. You just make, then it goes away. But when they study it and they realize that this sound comes and we don't see anything, then they come back.
They come back.
So you need to be changing the best carrying methods.
Oh, okay. The birds are now becoming intelligent, if I will say.
Very. Sometimes when you even use net to cover, they can land on the net if, depending on how you've made it. If you don't do it like the sleeping in mosquito net, where you need to raise the supports and the net slacks, they will land on it and they will land on the crop. And they will
destroy it.
They will destroy it. So you need to do it and do it with the net.
Okay.
If you are not doing the net then you need a scarer or the best scaring system. You need to be changing it
the methods,
so that they don't get used to one particular sound, and then they will beat you. I mean, when they get it, you will be in trouble. So the best scaring system is there. So the scarer, you have created job for the scarer as well. And then after harvesting, even the harvesting, now we have combined harvest. First, we used to go by manual. We need to employ people using sickle to cut, but we have moved from there. So now we have what we call the combined harvester. So the machine has to come to the farm. That one too is being operated by
farmhand
or operator. So you have created job for that person. He comes in to harvest for you. You pick your rice. You need to transport it to where you are going to now start the post-harvest processing. So transporters come in. You have to carry the rice to the drying floor, or if you have silos. We don't have silos on our schemes, but they have drying floors where they dry the rice before they bag them. So when it gets to the drying floor, we have people who are into the drying. I mean, they would spread it on either tarpaulin or a drying floor, a cemented floor, for it to be dried to the required moisture content of about 16. About 16 MC. We call it moisture content. Then it is bagged. So all these people, you see women bagging and all that, after the drying, they need to do what we call winnowing. You have to blow some chaff off so that you get the clean paddy. So they have developed some machines to blow the air. Some, if you don't have the machines, you need to go by the natural wind method of they will pour it and then the natural wind will blow the chaff away. You call it winnowing. Then a lot of women are into that. So when you go to Ghana Irrigation Scheme at harvesting time, you see a lot of women doing the post-harvest aspects, drying, winnowing, bagging, and all that. So you see the number of people who have been given some job.
And we say an entire value chain on this one.
It's an entire value chain, and people are all these activities. I mean, they pay. They pay for them. So he comes to dry for you. You need to pay something. He comes to convey the rice for you. That is, if you don't get a vehicle or something to carry it, it means you have to carry it on your head. But now, for Ghana Irrigation Scheme, they have these tricycles around who carry them for a fee. So every one bag, he will charge you, say, 50 pesos or 1 cedi for one bag. Yes. So if you have 100 bags, you pay.
I mean, that's money.
Transporting. That's money to the person. Yes.
All right. So as Madam rightly said, I mean, the value chain really employs a lot of people, and this is creating sustainable livelihoods. And I would say that if you want to go into agriculture, I mean, this is a time that you can fix yourself somewhere and also become an actor to develop the sector. So let me go back to Madam and then find out how farmers are responding to the call of agricultural industrialization. So, Madam, you rightly mentioned, I mean, people using combined harvesters, farmers, and then others also using the winnowing machine and all that. So, we have about 2,000, let's say we have about 2,000 farmers on a scheme who are into the paddy production. I mean, per your statistics or in your encounter with them, how many, or let me say, are people embracing the machine operation on the farms?
Yes, they are. You know, agriculture, it used to be very, very, very tedious because those times the machines were not there. For example, when the combined harvester had not come, and you need to harvest your rice using sickle. You need to cut it, go and thresh it.
That's a tedious process.
Very tedious. You need to thresh all the rice from the stalk, get the paddy before you start blowing the chaff. And it's a very tedious job. So when the combined harvester was introduced, it solved that problem. It comes in, cut it, and you are getting your paddy. Right into the cell. You just only need to send it and then blow the small chaff off. So when you talk about the industrialization or machines coming in, it's another area very, very important to agricultural production. The machines coming in to assist. For the winnowing machines like this, you can fabricate it. We have some in Ashaman, just fabricated by people who are into welders. Just fabricate it, and
that is going.
You use it on the field. Yes.
So, lastly, what do you think about the agriculture sector? I mean, per your opinion. That is the last question for you.
Yeah, agriculture sector, I would say they said is the first job.
Yeah, the first occupation.
And I see it as very lucrative. It is tedious, but for me, I feel that when you do it and do it well, you make money. Those times, our farmers were not having the business idea to agricultural production, but now we are building their capacity and training them to have that business mind of going into agribusiness. We call it agribusiness. It's a business. So when you are going into rice production, you don't tell yourself, oh, I'm just going to grow the rice. First, you need to even look for the market. You look for the market for your crop, and then you go in with the variety that the market wants. So we've been training our farmers on what we call, you grow your rice to sell. But not you are growing to chop, and then when some remain, then
you sell it.
You sell it. No,
that is a subsistence farming.
So we have moved from subsistence farming. Now we are into agribusiness. So it's not a bad job at all. It's a very good one. When you do it and do it well, it's profitable.
It will pay off.
It's profitable. Because when you go to corn irrigation scheme, they are making an average of 5 tons, 5 metric tons of rice per hectare. That's 5,000 kilograms of rice. That is the average. Some are higher. Some can get even 7, 8. But some also make a low yield. So on the average, we peg it around 5. So if you are making 5 tons per hectare, and you are doing it 2 times in a year, so it means, let's say you are making 10 tons from 1 hectare. So when you do the statistics, I remember there was a project, MASAPS, which ended some 2 years ago. The farmers their cost of production was around 5,000 per hectare. Now it has moved up because of fertilizer prices. It has moved up. So when you do the cost benefits, you see that the farmer is making some meaningful profits. At least you won't make a loss. Otherwise, they would all have stopped cropping. Because why would you continue to crop when
it's not profitable?
It's not profitable, but they continue to crop. So I would say that it's not a bad job at all. It's very good. When you do it and do it well, you make profits.
Are there any challenges to the irrigation scheme in Ghana?
Yes, of course, there are challenges. Every job, there are successes, there are challenges. So I'll just mention some of the challenges we have in our schemes. Of late, the topmost challenge we are having, I'll cite Dowenya as an example, is encroachment. You know, Dowenya is very close. It's in peri-urban area. So encroachment, you know, people trying to use land meant for agricultural purpose, for other purposes, building. So a lot of encroachment on the scheme. Can be people grabbing land is the issue. And we have a lot of challenges in that aspect. We're trying to fight them to protect the land for agricultural purpose. So it's of late the key challenge we are having on some of our schemes. The other challenges have to do with the infrastructure maintenance and all that, but for that we are trying to resolve them by letting the farmers pay the irrigation service charge. When they use the water, it is not free. They pay for it. Then government has asked the institution to use the service charge to do minor maintenance works on the scheme. So we're having some challenges where some of the farmers were having the idea that they don't have to pay, it's government. It's fine, so it should be free. But we are talking to them, and of late we've introduced a system we are calling the WUA system, Water User Association.
System. Water User
Associations.
Okay.
So we've organized the farmers into groups.
Groups, okay.
Yeah. So each group is working in a particular service area. When you go to Ghana Irrigation Scheme, each group is working in a particular area we call the service area.
Okay.
So they help with the collection of irrigation service charge from the area and report or bring it to the authority. And then we in turn give them something back for them to do the minor maintenance in their service area.
Okay.
So that is what we are doing, and it's helping a lot. So now the irrigation service charge recovery rate is improving.
It's improving, okay.
It's improving. It used to be very low. It's now improving.
Yeah.
They are getting to understand that we need to maintain the infrastructure so that it will be sustainable, because if you don't maintain them and then everything collapses one day, that is the end of your business. Yes. So in that aspect, it used to be a challenge, but now we are trying to resolve them. And then support to the farmers. They need a lot of support. When the PLG was very active, the farmers were very happy. They were getting seeds at a subsidized price, fertilizer at a subsidized price, some agrochemicals at a subsidized price, and it was helping. So now that now they have to buy the fertilizer, you know, now the price is very high. Very high.
So the subsidies have been cut off?
Not completely, but it's not like initially when we started the PLG, it was working very well. But now, not all the farmers are able to access
them.
Yes. So those who are not able to access it, the cost of production is high. It's high. So when it's that high, you sell and it's now reducing your profits. You see that at a point you might not survive.
Yeah.
So they need support in the area of subsidy, so that the farming inputs they use the cost can come down and they can make some meaningful profits.
Okay.
So the support in that aspect is also a challenge.
Okay.
Yeah. And there are other minor challenges. We are hopeful that we'll be able to address those challenges so that the farming on the irrigation scheme, we call it irrigated agriculture, will be very, very sustainable. Because it's the way to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, all year round you are cropping.
You are cropping.
Yes.
So, I mean, thank you very much. This has been an insightful encounter or engagement with you. Yeah, thank you very much.
My pleasure having you.
So this is how we draw curtains to Time with an Agribusiness Giant. And today you've been listening to Madam Juliet Adjei-Kyere, and she is the head of Scheme Oversight Department at the Ghana Irrigation Development Authority. And I must say that with the information given so far, the Irrigation Authority is doing well to increase crop production, especially in rice or paddy production. And also to farmers out there, I mean, this is a time to embrace the call for agricultural industrialization, where we modernize our mode of farming and then also practice good agronomic methods or practices. My name is Praise Opoku Dube. See you same time next week.